What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode here on The Dazzle. We are continuing our mini-series getting you ready for Cinco de Mayo today.
So today what I'm going to show you guys how to make are taquitos de pollo, and we might make some flautas too, just so you can see the difference between the two. But I really wanted to show you guys this recipe because it's something very simple. I loved eating these all the time growing up, and yeah, we're gonna...
And I love eating them when she makes them, so it's good for everybody.
So we have a few ingredients that we're missing, so we're gonna run to the store really quick and pick those up, and then we'll be right back here showing you how to make these taquitos de pollo, chicken taquitos.
Yep, so follow along, get all your ingredients ready, and we're gonna have fun with this. Let's go! And we are back. We got all the ingredients that we needed to make these taquitos and everything. So Isabel's gonna take us through the walkthrough.
Yep, so one of the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna cook our chicken. So of course we have chicken, I'll show you guys that in a bit. And the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna boil it in a pot of water, and then I'm just gonna add a big old chunk of onion, and then 2 cloves of garlic, and we'll add a bit of salt as well. We'll let that boil first, and then we're gonna shred that chicken and go ahead and put it into our tortillas. So earlier I mentioned that we're gonna be making taquitos and flautas, and just for those of you who don't know the difference between those two, I'm gonna explain that right now.
That's really good, especially if you're a gringo like me.
Yes. So taquitos, and honestly, living in Utah, I've learned that this is not common knowledge, because coming from California, I thought most people knew the difference between things, but then here, it's been interesting.
More or less.
But yeah, taquitos are smaller. They're usually about this big, and that's because they're made with corn tortillas, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make them with corn tortillas. And then flautas are made with flour tortillas. That's why they're so much bigger. And flauta, that's the name of them because they resemble a flute. They're just so big. So we're going to make our flautas, of course, with flour tortillas, and we're going to add some shredded cheese on the inside too to make those extra good.
Which we got right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get started cooking our chicken. I went ahead and added our onions and cloves of garlic. I did add a little bit of extra onions only because I'm going to be cooking 3 chicken breasts. Not for this recipe. I'm just using 1 chicken breast for this recipe, and the rest are for something I'm going to make for dinner tomorrow. So you obviously don't need that much. And then you just want to add salt to taste. So again, because this is 3 chicken breasts, I'm just going to add quite a bit of salt. We don't really measure when we cook. We just wait for our ancestors to tell us that it's good. So I added the salt in, and again, onions, garlic, our water's boiling, and I'm gonna go ahead and just throw these 3 chicken breasts in. These have rib meat too, but it's no big deal because we're gonna shred the chicken and remove all the bones and skin. And I like to save money. These were the best deal at the store. So yeah. Our chicken's in there, and we're just going to let that boil until it's ready. It's probably going to be about 20 to 25 minutes. And then we'll come back and start making our taquitos.
1 eternity later.
Our chicken is done, so I went ahead and deboned and took the skin off of one of the chicken breasts. So we have it right here in our bowl. And now we're just going to shred it. When I was growing up, I used to shred this by hand or use like 2 forks to shred up the chicken. But I recently saw a video where they used a hand mixer, and it has changed my life because this goes so much faster. So we are going to just use our little hand mixer to shred up this chicken for our taquitos. Okay, we lost a little bit of chicken on the way, but there we go. So now we're going to move on to our next step, which is going to be assembling our taquitos. In order to assemble our taquitos, it's really important that we heat up our tortillas first. That way they're nice and soft and they won't break when we're rolling the chicken in them. So we're just going to heat up a bunch of tortillas right now. We have our tortillas now, and they're nice and soft. They're like floppy like this, so that's how you know you did it right. And we're just going to grab the chicken now, spread it out in the middle, and then you're gonna take this end of the tortilla, roll all the way over, and just try to pull it as tight as you can. Just roll it like this, And we want it to finish like this with this little flap on the bottom, because when we fry the taquitos, we're gonna place them into the oil like this. That way, that side will cook first, and it'll be less likely that your taquito will open up. So I'm just gonna set them here as I go. And while I'm rolling these, I told you guys in our first Cinco de Mayo video that I would explain a little bit about Cinco de Mayo. So Mexican Independence Day is actually on September 16th. So here in the States, we celebrate 4th of July. That's our Independence Day here. In Mexico, for them, it is September 16th. The reason why people talk about Cinco de Mayo is actually because that's the day of the Batalla de Puebla, the Battle of Puebla, which is a city in Mexico. And the reason that battle is so significant is because the Mexicans were fighting against the French army, and they were very outnumbered in this battle, but they actually ended up winning. They had about half the number of casualties than the French did, and they were able to defeat them in this battle, which really boosted morale for the Mexican army. So it's a battle of great importance, but it's kind of like if we were to celebrate the Battle of Yorktown here in the United States. I mean, that was a really cool battle too, especially those of you who have listened to Hamilton, you know a little bit more about it. But yeah, it was a really cool battle, but we don't really celebrate it here in the States, right? And that's why in Mexico, you won't really see too many people celebrating Cinco de Mayo. You'll see Mexican restaurants advertising for it and maybe having specials, and that's just because it's a great marketing technique. People tend to buy lots of tequila on Cinco de Mayo. I've even heard of Drinko de Mayo. So it's not really a thing that gets celebrated too much, but places do take advantage of it because that's what they got to do to get you to buy food at their restaurant or drink at their bar. So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that because I've noticed that a lot of people are very misinformed. But yeah, Mexicans do have their own Independence Day, and the celebrations on that day are pretty awesome, but that's in September. So now we have our oil heated up quite a bit over here in our pan, and we have a few taquitos rolled. I'm going to just put them in there so that you can see, and then I'll keep rolling more on my own. So you just have to be really careful when you're placing these into the pan because the oil is hot. Just make sure that you have that part on the bottom. So just going to place that in there. And then again, we'll just keep an eye on them, and we're gonna get them nice and crispy. Our taquitos are nice and crunchy now, and just to show you guys that it's kind of hard to keep them together, I did have one right here that fell apart. So Garrett said he's gonna volunteer himself to eat it. I mean, it still tastes good, but just don't feel bad if they open up. I'm still not a master of these like my mom and dad are, but we're getting there. So we're just gonna take these out, and I like to put them on a paper towel so they can just absorb any excess oil. And we're just going to go ahead and try them now. And if you guys were watching our last video, we're going to go ahead and taste these with our salsas that we made. So stay tuned. So I completely forgot that I was going to show you guys how to make flautas as well. Luckily, it's just the same thing as the taquitos. So I just heated up the tortillas, filled them with chicken and cheese, and then just laid them with that little flap like the taquitos. And there you go. Here are our taquitos, and then we each got half of a flauta. Now we're going to taste both of our salsas, and if you didn't watch that video on how to make the salsas, just go ahead and click on this link so that you can go ahead and make those sauces as well. We're gonna see which one tastes better. I am scared that they might be a little too spicy. I don't do well with super spiciness. Garrett does. So let's go ahead and see.
Oh yes, and once you try all of this together with the red and the green salsa, make sure to go down in the comments and let us know which team you are, red or green, because that is definitely an important debate that we have to settle.
Honestly though, whichever one you choose, I made them both, so it's okay.
So let's taste these. Let's see. Okay.
Okay, I'm going for the red first.
Okay, then I'm gonna go for green.
I'm mixing it with sour cream so I don't die. Delicious.
I do already like the green.
Okay, let's switch then. Ooh, I need more.
I think the red is spicier.
I thought the green was spicier.
Really?
I
I
like
don't
them
know.
both.
I really like spicy food, so I'm always gonna vote for the one that's spicier.
I think I like the green one the most. That's probably because that was the one I went for at the beginning. But I really like it. What do you
That's
think?
tough. Honestly, I think I like the red more.
Perfect.
So-
well, you can't lose with either
No,
one.
you
They're
can't.
both really good.
So make sure to go down into the comments and let us know which one of these that you prefer out of the red and the green. Try both of them out. Try all these flautas and taquitos, and make sure to let us know how it all goes.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.